Sakura woke from her slumber due to the sound of the door being kicked down, followed by Tsunami's terrified scream. She silently crept out of her room, peering down the stairs to see two of Gato's thugs grabbing the woman. She found herself unable to move, just like with the Demon Brothers and Zabuza. "Leave my mom alone!" Sakura's eyes widened as Inari ran at one of the thugs, tackling his legs. But due to his small size, he was easily thrown off. "Inari, don't!" his mother pleaded as the thugs pulled her to her feet, pressing a kunai against her throat. Inari shakily rose to his feet, fists clenched as the thugs stared at him with smug expressions. He let out a scream, running at them again. Sakura couldn't bear to see more. Without thinking, she jumped down the stairs. She brought a kunai down on one of the thugs' shoulder, making him scream in pain. She wrenched the blade free, jumping off him, shaking all the while. "You brat!" one thug shouted, raising his katana. She managed to block with her kunai, driving it into the man's stomach, making him double over before he collapsed, dead. She then ducked under the second man's sword, swiping upward, causing blood to spew from his chest. Tsunami instantly ran to Inari, checking him over, Sakura watching with a faint smile. Her face suddenly turned pale. She ran out the door, puking over the porch from the act of her first kill. After calming down, she looked in the direction of the bridge. Mist blocked her view of it, concern on her face. But there was no point in running in blind. That much she knew. It was better she made sure the builders were alright. "I'm going to find Tazuna and the workers. Tsunami, Inari, stay here. It's not safe outside." "Are Naruto and the others gonna be okay?" Inari asked. Sakura gave a small smile. "I'm sure they'll be fine." Back on the bridge, things weren't particularly fine. Naruto and Sasuke were riddled with scratches, multiple senbon piercing their flesh. They tried to follow Haku's movements, but she was too fast to track. The senbon were even faster, and she showed no signs of stopping. "Sasuke, try using your fire," Naruto whispered. "We've got to save chakra, so add your wind style. It'll increase the strength of the flames." Naruto nodded, standing right beside Sasuke, both weaving hand signs. "Fire style, great fireball jutsu. Wind style, great breakthrough." The roaring flame barreled into one of the ice mirrors, Haku's reflections merging into a single mirror on the other side of the ice dome. The fire engulfed the mirror, blocking the Genin's view of it. Almost a minute later, the flames were gone, but the ice remained. No sign of damage was present, the flames having zero effect on it. Both Genin cursed under their breath. Fire was the only element that had the chance to counter ice, which they both assumed was a combination of water style and wind style. They'd never seen the Kekkei Genkai in any books, so they had no other ideas that would feasibly work. "I've wasted enough time with you," Haku stated, producing more senbon. Naruto growled, "Why are you and Zabuza doing this? If you kill us and Tazuna, this village will continue to suffer." "Lord Zabuza's orders are absolute. He has his own reasons for his actions," Haku replied coldly. "What, to get money so you can try to kill the Mizukage again?" Haku paused. "So what if we are? Why do you even want the Mizukage dead?" "You know nothing about what the Mizukage has done to the hidden mist," Haku said, a hint of rage heard behind her cold voice. "What the hell are you doing?" Sasuke whispered. "Stalling her. Well, I do. Try finding a way out of here," Naruto replied quietly. Sasuke nodded slightly as Naruto turned back to Haku as she began to speak. "The current Mizukage has thrown the mist into chaos. Permanent martial law. Inhuman treatment of both shinobi and civilians. Forcing fresh genin to kill their peers just to become full-fledged ninja. Killing anyone who defies them. Massacring entire clans because of their unique abilities. All of this has given the mist the nickname, the Bloody Mist. Lord Zabuza was forced to either die or kill all his comrades. He was subjected to physical pain and torture to become as strong as he is. That's why he tried to kill the Mizukage. After failing, he and his fellow defectors fled. Shortly after, he found me, the sole survivor of the Yuki clan, one of the many clans the Mizukage massacred. I watched Miss Ninja kill my mother. The only other member of the Yuki, Lord Zabuza, saved me. He taught me, nurtured me into a weapon. I am his tool. And as his tool, I shall remain at his side until he no longer has use for me. Once that time comes, my time will cease. Naruto was left in shock, eyes wide in disbelief. He didn't know how to respond, if he even should. Sasuke, who was forced to listen, was equally surprised. He could understand Zabuza's motives, but not why Haku was so willing to follow him until her death. Naruto couldn't understand either. Zabuza is your reason for living, Naruto muttered. If that's the case, even if his goal is a noble one, I can't allow you to achieve it by hurting innocent people. He drew his kunai, coating it with fire, following Sasuke's orders that he'd relayed silently. Both threw their blades at one of the mirrors. Naruto then pulled out another kunai wrapped with explosive tags. All the blades struck simultaneously, creating a massive explosion of white fire. A valiant effort, Haku praised as the flames died down, revealing a few fractures along the mirror. However, my chakra can fix the mirrors faster than you can break them. Her words were true, as the ice merely sealed the fractures in seconds. She can't keep up this ability for long, Sasuke said. It requires continuous chakra, but I doubt we'll be able to last until she runs out. Naruto nodded grimly, looking around the dome as Haku appeared in each of the mirrors once again, unleashing waves upon waves of Senbon. Naruto tried desperately to defend himself and Sasuke using Gale Palm, but there were simply too many. One bounced off his forehead protector, knocking him back, putting him in front of another volley, aimed for his heart. But just as they were about to strike, Sasuke jumped in front of Naruto, blocking the Senbon with his kunai. Naruto stared wide-eyed as another volley followed immediately after. The Uchiha, unable to defend himself. Each one buried deep into Sasuke's body, blood staining his shirt dark red. He stumbled back, the worried Naruto catching him. Sasuke! Sasuke, wake up! Naruto shouted. I'm alive, idiots, Sasuke coughed out. The Uchiha's eyes fluttered open, coughing out a stream of blood. Naruto frantically looked over his body. He was losing large amounts of blood, and no amount of medical treatment he was capable of could help him. Naruto looked into Sasuke's eyes, his own widening. Instead of their regular dull black, they were blood red. His Sharingan had reawakened. Sasuke would have been ecstatic if he wasn't losing consciousness from the loss of blood, and the incredible amount of chakra his new eyes were sapping from him. Sasuke, you need to deactivate your eyes. I can't stop the bleeding, but if you use all your chakra, you'll die before the loss of blood kills you. His words fell on deaf ears, as Sasuke had already lost consciousness. His Sharingan deactivated, his body going limp. Naruto's fear increased, pressing his ear against his chest. He could hear breathing, but it was incredibly shallow. He was barely clinging to life. Naruto felt his rage bubbling to the surface. He glanced at Haku, fists clenched as he lowered Sasuke to the ground. You're going to pay for this! Haku felt a wave of fear come over her as Naruto's eyes focused on the one mirror she resided in. Was he somehow able to detect which was the real compared to the reflections? She didn't have time to wonder, as chakra exploded out of Naruto, his pupils morphing into black slits. The chakra coating him began to darken, its density increasing. A bead of sweat falling down Haku's face. Naruto felt his teeth grind together, his nails digging into his palms. He had to win, no matter what. All other thoughts faded away as he focused all his chakra to his hands. His vision went black, opening his eyes again to see a chilling sight. The cage within his own mind. The cage for the demon sealed inside him. Take my power. Naruto's confusion overwhelmed his fear, catching him off guard. Why? He asked hoarsely. You want revenge, but you're not strong enough. Take my power, and you will be. A wisp of orange smoke appeared from within the dark cage. It floated towards Naruto in a slow, sporadic pattern, almost as if it had a will of its own. It was powerful chakra. It made him sick just to look at it. But it can make me stronger, or so the fox says. I'm not powerful enough to break Haku's mirrors. If this orange chakra can give me power, I should take it, he said to himself. His mind was then filled with the faces of his friends. The Hokage, Kakashi, his peers. If he used the demon's power, they would hate him. If he hurt someone with the power, they'd certainly kill him. The orange wisp was inches away, fanning out to cover him. The faint, menacing chuckle of the fox snapped him out of his senses. No! Naruto shouted, throwing his hand up to push away the orange chakra. I'll never take your power. What? The Nine-Tails rumbled. The fourth Hokage entrusted me to keep you caged up. If I use your power, I'll never be able to forgive myself. Naruto turned away, flaring his chakra even as he felt the fox inhale. Its cry of rage was cut off as Naruto returned to reality. He reined in the dark chakra he had been releasing, making it revert to the normal blue. The chakra around his hands condensed, forming a sphere of wind that he held at his side. He bit his lip in concentration, a trickle of blood staining his teeth. Once the sphere was as small as he could make it, he unknowingly started adding fire chakra. Pain shot through his arm, making him cry out in agony, but his concentration never wavered. Haku felt the heat instantly, the fiery ball of chakra giving off waves of it. Kakashi and Zabuza briefly stopped their duel, looking towards the buildup of energy. Kakashi had sensed the Nine-Tails chakra within the boy, as he'd experienced it before. Fortunately, Naruto's will was strong enough to suppress it, the Jonin sighing in relief. However, he couldn't explain what the blonde was doing with a ball of fire. Naruto himself didn't understand. All he knew was that the idea sprung into his head. He forced the wind to push the flames closer and closer together. The flames brightened as they crashed together, slowly forming into a pure white orb. Naruto screamed in agony, more wind chakra bursting from his hands, the fire shrinking further, gaining a pinkish-red hue surrounding the white core. Haku could feel the heat, causing her to sweat. Her ice mirrors were requiring more chakra to keep up, meaning the excess heat Naruto was generating was enough to make them melt. She dreaded to see what the pink-red flame would do. She had to act fast, all her reflections summoning ice spikes, shooting them towards Naruto, but the boy didn't even notice them. By the time they struck him, the heat had reduced them to tiny shards, which also quickly evaporated. Haku cursed, unleashing a barrage of senbon from every direction. It was impossible to avoid them, and Naruto knew that. He had only one chance. He took a deep breath, forcing his new technique to fly from between his palms, creating a shockwave of heat. The sphere was little more than a pink blur as it flew towards the ice mirror Haku resided in. She had to jump out of the mirrors, her reflections vanishing as she backflipped away. She barely escaped the blast zone. The pink orb struck the first mirror, instantly turning it to steam. The orb then burst, releasing all the built-up flames in one large blast of red energy. All her ice mirrors were blown away, reduced to nothing. Not even a wisp of steam could be seen as the flames quickly dispersed. Naruto jumped out of the center of a black ring, burnt onto the bridge. Lunging for Haku, who was frozen with shock. He threw her against the bridge's railing, breathing heavily. Stand down, please, Haku, Naruto panted as the girl pushed herself off the ground. I don't want to kill you. You're a good person. That doesn't matter, Haku replied coldly, drawing more senbon. Lord Sabuza's orders are absolute. You're not a tool, Haku. You're a human being, You don't have to do this. Fool, Haku spat. Shinobi are tools. We exist to do jobs the average person refuses to do. We kill without question. We have no morality. We are the living embodiment of tools. Naruto snarled. If you have no morality, then why does Zabuza want to save the mist from the Mizukage? Why didn't you kill me when we first met in the forest? Why have you been holding back most of this fight? Haku didn't respond. She couldn't respond. She couldn't explain anything Naruto pointed out without denying her earlier statement. Naruto knew that. Tell me, Haku, what will you do if Zabuza dies? Naruto asked abruptly. Eliminate his killer, then kill myself, Haku answered without question. Do you think Zabuza will want you to do that? Naruto retorted. You care about him, and I assume he cares about you. Do you think he'd want you to throw your life away? Without Lord Zabuza, I am nothing. If I cannot kill you, I will be a broken tool. I will be useless, Haku replied, a slight crack in her voice. Naruto growled. I refuse to accept that. We might be shinobi, you have to do terrible things, but that doesn't mean we're not human. You're not a tool, and if Zabuza sees you as one, he never cared about you. Lightning style. Lightning blade. Naruto stopped advancing when he heard his sensei call out his original jutsu. Pure blue chakra coated his hand, making the blonde's hair stand on end, even from the other side of the bridge. Zabuza stood a short distance away, held down by ninja dogs the copy ninja had summoned. His executioner's blade was buried into the bridge, the man unable to reach for it. Kakashi raised his hand, aimed at Zabuza's chest. Haku's eyes widened. Kakashi was going to kill Zabuza. She had to save him. She had no choice. She failed to kill the Genin. She couldn't fail him again. She didn't even notice the steel wire wrap around her body, tying her against the bridge. Her mask fell off, revealing her horrified face as she was unable to break free. Her horror mixed with confusion, as Naruto ran towards his sensei and Zabuza. Kakashi-sensei, stop! Naruto shouted. The blonde propelled himself in front of Kakashi's lightning blade, using soul speed. But the Jonin was already mid-attack, unable to stop his arm which was flying towards Zabuza's chest. And now, Naruto's. Zabuza watched the blonde with more confusion than anything. He'd completely forgotten his attempt to escape, unable to understand what the boy was doing. Naruto planted his feet into the bridge, his hand grabbing onto Kakashi's lightning blade, tearing through the skin and flesh instantly. Naruto winced in agony, once again focusing all his willpower into his hand. Naruto began to draw the lightning into his body, much to Kakashi's amazement. His Sharingan saw the lightning course through the boy's body and into his other arm. He threw his arm up to the side, unleashing the absorbed energy in one violent blast. The lightning flew off the side of the bridge, fizzling out after multiple seconds. Kakashi watched it, wide-eyed, slowly turning back to see the collapsed Naruto. One hand was torn up, flesh exposed and blood trickling down. The other was fried, smoke rising from the fingertips. That kid, Zabuza muttered. Kakashi glanced at him. Just how stupid is he? I wish I knew, Kakashi said under his breath. Naruto's hands were in terrible condition, but he was still alive, though he was extremely exhausted. He forced himself to stand up, difficult to do without hands. Kakashi caught the boy before he stumbled. Why did you do that, Naruto? Kakashi asked. You could have died. Naruto groaned, glaring at Zabuza, who had a confused expression on his face. I didn't do it for Zabuza. I did it for her, he answered, looking to Haku, who'd finally broke free of her bindings. Do you have any idea how much she cares about you? She's willing to die for you, and you treat her like a weapon. Zabuza kept a neutral expression, all but Kakashi unable to tell what he was thinking. Stand down, Haku, the man ordered as she started to draw a kunai. That kid saved my life. I'm not about to kill him or his comrades until I know why. Haku nodded slowly, never looking away from the blonde who just lost consciousness. His words kept repeating in her mind, the inner conflict visible on her face. Copy, Ninja. Release me, and we'll be on our way. I promise you won't have any trouble from us until I get to talk to the kid. Kakashi lowered his headband. Why should I trust you? I'll bring you Gato's head as proof. He's your employer. I was planning to kill him after the bridge builder anyways. He's done business with the Hidden Mist on more than one occasion. He deserves death for that, and the way he's gained his fortune. If there was one thing he knew about Zabuza, it's that he despised the Mizukage, as expected. It made sense he was willing to kill Gato. Plus, if he did it, then he and his genin wouldn't have to deal with it. Fine then, Kakashi accepted. However, I'll be sending one of my dogs with you. Alright, fine, Zabuza muttered. 2 days later, Naruto's eyes fluttered open, glancing around the spare room in Tazuna's house. So, you finally woke up. Naruto turned his head to face Sasuke. The Uchiha's shirt was off, his body covered with bandages. Are you okay? Sasuke nodded. My injuries weren't as bad as we thought. I'll be fine within a few days. You, on the other hand, will have to wait until we get back to the village. Naruto then looked to his arms. They were held to his chest by slings, dense layers of bandages covering his hands. He could feel needles of pain randomly travel through his hands. It had to be an after effect of the lightning. What the hell happened after I was knocked out? Sasuke asked, glaring at the blonde. When I woke up, Zabuza and his ice partner were gone. Her name is Haku, Naruto grunted. As for what happened, I'll tell you later. Sasuke huffed, closing his eyes as they heard footsteps outside. Sakura opened the door, instantly running to check Sasuke over. Kakashi leaned against the doorframe, a bored expression on his face as he stared at Naruto. The blonde stared back. We've got to talk. Naruto nodded slowly, Kakashi looking to the others. Sasuke, I want you to stay here and rest. Sakura, go to the bridge with Tazuna. Our fight with Zabuza caused a decent amount of damage, meaning the bridge will still need another day to finish. Naruto's coming with me. What about Zabuza and his partner? Sasuke asked. We won't have any trouble with them, Kakashi answered, pulling Naruto to his feet. The two of us will be back in a few. The two vanished in a poof of smoke, reappearing in the forest outside the tiny village. Before anything else, I want an explanation for why you stopped me from killing Zabuza, Kakashi demanded, a slight anger in his voice. Naruto frowned. If I didn't stop you, Haku would have sacrificed herself to save him. I refuse to let her throw her life away, even if she cares that much about Zabuza. You jeopardized the mission, and almost got yourself killed in the process. And I still don't understand how you were able to redirect my lightning. I guess it's another perk of having all 5 elements, Naruto chuckled hesitantly. Honestly, I didn't know I could do it either. It just came naturally. But since your lightning blade was so powerful, I couldn't hold it in and had to release it. Kakashi sighed internally. Speaking of your elemental affinities, you did something else I didn't know you could do. That attack you used on Haku's ice mirrors. Do you realize what it was? Naruto shook his head. I just did something purely on instinct. I'm sure you felt it, but the fox tried to get out. I did, Kakashi admitted. Your willpower is impressive, just as Lord Third said. Back to your attack. It was no ordinary jutsu. You combined wind and fire chakra, but not in a traditional way. That pink-red fire indicates a very special mixture of elemental combinations. Naruto tilted his head. What do you mean, Kakashi-sensei? Kakashi groaned, pinching his nose in annoyance at Naruto's ignorance. Naruto, you used Scorch Style, a Kekkei Genkai combination. Naruto went through 3 expressions in a single second. Confusion, shock, and confusion again. What's Scorch style? Kakashi groaned again. I suppose you wouldn't have learned about it at the academy. Scorch style is a fusion of wind and fire chakra. It's a Kekkei Genkai with similar rarity to the first Hokage's wood style. Only one person has possessed it as far as we know. Its primary use is to turn all the water in a human body to steam, instantly killing the target. But, as you found out, it's very effective against ice style. Naruto nodded, taking in the information as best he could. Does that mean I have Scorch style? Kakashi shook his head. No, you don't have a Kekkei Genkai. My Sharingan would know if you did. But somehow, you are able to use it. Either it's a stroke of pure luck, or you are just able to use Elemental Kekkei Genkai by combining your affinities. All of them? Naruto asked, jumping up in suspense and surprise. Possibly, Kakashi replied, running a hand through his silver hair. And if that's the case, then you're in even greater danger than we initially believed. The Nine Tails, natural access to all 5 elements, and now multiple Kekkei Genkai styles. Seriously, how much trouble are you going to make for me? Naruto didn't even hear his question. He was too ecstatic to listen. Scorch style was only the beginning, if Kakashi was right. He needed to increase his training fast. His thoughts were interrupted when his sensei hit him on the head, making him fall to the ground. You need to get serious about this, Naruto, Kakashi demanded. If you had a bingo book bounty, you'd be right at the top. If you weren't aligned with the Hidden Leaf, the other villages would be at each other's throats to get you on their side. Naruto sighed. I know. Sorry, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi blinked. We keep this secret for as long as possible. Me, you, and the Hokage should be the only ones who know this for as long as we can keep it hidden. If Sasuke, Sakura, or even Zabuza and Haku ask, just say you used a strong wind-fire combination against the ice mirrors. Yes, sir. Wait, why did you add Zabuza and Haku on that list? Kakashi tilted his head. Oh yes. After you saved him, Zabuza insisted on talking to you. He and Haku left to kill Gato, and should be back any minute now. So, the rest is up to you. Naruto watched blankly as the Jonin leaned against a tree, pulling out his book. Could you at least tell me what condition my hands are in, before you indulge yourself? Naruto asked sarcastically. You'll make a full recovery, once we get back to the leaf. Naruto sighed. It was better than nothing. All he could do now was wait for Zabuza and Haku to show up. He hoped the girl was alright, and had time to think about his words to her. He realized he was about to find out when Kakashi finally looked up from his book, staring into the forest. From the shadows came 2 figures. The taller one carrying a lifeless body. They threw it in front of Kakashi. As expected, it was Gato. We found a safe full of cash. We divided it into small bags and sent them to the towns and villages Gato stole them from. Here's the money for the Land of Waves, Zabuza said, throwing a bag of coins to Kakashi. I'll be taking what's left of his stash as my payment. Fine with me, Kakashi replied. Now talk with my student and make it quick. Zabuza turned to the blonde. Naruto stared back, his eyes unreadable. Haku glanced at each of them, keeping her emotions in check. You said you saved me for Haku's sake. Why did you do that for someone you barely know? Naruto frowned. I'm a knucklehead ninja. I can't sit idly by while someone throws their life away. Haku deserves more than being your tool. If I can give her a proper life, then I'd do anything. You're an idiot, Zabuza spat. How do you expect to be a shinobi is beyond me. Naruto chuckled dryly. I chose to defy the traditional shinobi ways a long time ago. Most of my life has been hell in one way or another. If I can make someone else's less of a hell, I'll do it. Haku has lived through hell too. Even after you took her in, she just lived a different hell. If you see her as human, then you know what I mean. Enlighten me, Zabuza taunted. How would you react if I killed Haku right here in front of your eyes? Naruto asked, staring at Haku as he spoke. Better yet, what would you do if the Mizukage killed her? I assume that's why you took her in. Zabuza growled. She became my tool by her own accord. And you applaud her for it, Naruto shouted. Have you ever wondered if perhaps she wanted to do something else? To become her own person instead of an extension of yourself? If you're so bright, then what do you think she should do? Naruto hesitated. How about you let her come to the hidden leaf? What? Kakashi blurted out, almost dropping his book. Haku and Zabuza were equally shocked. Naruto continued. Let her live in the leaf until you've got enough power and funds to try and kill the Mizukage again. I doubt you'll be trying anytime soon. You honestly think she'd be allowed to live there? We've killed Leaf Ninja before, Zabuza countered. I can put in a good word to the Hokage. He and I are close. Besides, if they let me live in the village, then she'd be welcome just fine. Zabuza didn't understand what that meant, nor did he want to find out right now. Haku couldn't take her eyes off the blonde. Why was he so adamant about this? Why did he think separating her from her master was a good idea? If you care about her, then you need to be able to let her go. At least for a while, Naruto stated. Plus, she'll be safer in the leaf. As the last member of the Yuki clan, she has a target on her back. If she's aligned with the leaf, it'll be much harder for people to get to her. Zabuza was silent for several minutes, leaving Haku in suspense. She didn't dare voice her thoughts. She never did unless asked. Naruto saw this in her eyes. Another reason he wanted to give her a new path to try out. To give her the ability to make her own decisions. Fine then, Zabuza finally answered. Haku will go back to the leaf with you, but on 2 conditions. First, you never take your eyes off her, and hers off you. The second, she returns to me when I go to kill the Mizukage, and you have to join us. Lord Zabuza? Haku couldn't stop herself from voicing her confusion. Why do you want my student to help fight the Mizukage? Kakashi asked wearily. Consider it payment. This kid has made my life even harder, but I have to admit, he's got a point. He looked at Haku. Haku has been my tool for long enough. She served me well and deserves a chance to do something else for a change. Are you discarding me, Lord Zabuza? Haku asked, sadness barely heard in her voice. Hardly, Zabuza grunted. I'm simply shelving you for the moment. While you live in the leaf, you can have a normal life if you wish. Or you can train. Your ice style is powerful, but you've only scratched the surface of your potential. He turned, resting a hand on the girl's head for a few seconds. A sense of happiness and sadness coming over her. He'd never shown affection in any capacity before. He was always strict and focused on his jobs and planning his next moves. She never knew how good it felt, even if it was a brief, simple gesture. Haku, listen to the kid. Obviously, he has your best interests in mind. My name is Naruto. Zabuza sighed. Fine, listen to Naruto. I'll come back for you in 1 year. By then, we'll be ready to face the Mizukage again. He looked back to Naruto. You better make sure the 2 of you stay alive until then. Otherwise, all this talk was pointless. Sounds good to me, Naruto nodded. If this Mizukage is as bad as you say, then I'll gladly help you. Zabuza snickered. Then you'd better get stronger, brat. Is this really happening, Lord Zabuza? Haku asked. Yes, kid. We'll return to Gato's hideout, grab our stuff and blow it to pieces. Then, you'll join them to the leaf. What will you do, Zabuza? Kakashi asked, dispelling his shock at Naruto's plan and Zabuza's willingness to go along with it. Find more jobs, group up with the other defectors. Don't worry, I'll stay away from the leaf and their shinobi. And don't do anything that might hurt innocents, Naruto demanded. No promises, Zabuza grunted back, turning to leave once again. Haku will show up at the bridge builder's house tomorrow. He finished with a wave, disappearing. Haku looked back at Naruto, a blank expression hiding uncertainty on her face. Naruto frowned as she silently followed Zabuza into the darkness. I hope she doesn't hate me for this. But she needs to get away from Zabuza for a while, so she can become something better than what he made her, Naruto affirmed himself. You're insane, Kakashi muttered. But perhaps that's what someone like you needs in order to survive in this world. Maybe, Naruto murmured back. I just hope the old man will listen like I said he would. If you can persuade Zabuza, I doubt Lord Third will be much harder. Just be prepared to tell Sasuke and Sakura. Then, worry about keeping an eye on Haku. Yes, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said. If you like what you just heard, consider hitting the subscribe button and bell icon to get notified about new videos. If there's a part you've missed, then check out the entire playlist on screen. If you like this story, please share it with your fellow anime lovers. Any support helps a lot. That's all for now. This is Ninja Kai, disappearing in a golden flash.